Welcome, wankers. It's the boys are back in town. It's the Flashing People podcast. Hey, look, I almost forgot the name of this damn thing. It's
I
been
think
so
a,
long.
a lot of people have forgotten about it. Also,
Yeah,
your camera's off, Scott. Starting off on the right, professional, just like always.
it's off
There we go. Look at that.
like a Don.
People want to see you shining.
They need to see me shining. Uh, to lay down a few ground rules up front, we've done some research. I got my little notes here. It looks like for YouTube and podcasts, for the first 10 minutes, you need to have not just no cursing, but like no bad words. You can't use the word like I was just about to say it. You can't use, there's a lot of there's a lot of words to deal with sexuality that you can't use in the first 10 minutes. No curse words. So for the first 10 minutes, let me start on a clock here. The first 10 minutes, you and I are basically two sweet boys on a Christian cruise. We're, we're, we're,
I,
we're two Christians on a cruise. Let me go ahead
I
and
thought
get the
you were.
10-minute stop. All right. All right. We're on a Christian cruise right now for 10 minutes.
All right. So, what do you want to start with?
Well, I guess we have to start with a what have we been up to and a welcome back to the people because it's been a hot minute. I've been trying to drag this bastard back to do a podcast. He's been fighting me at every.
We're about to break that 10-minute rule right now. You liar.
Oh, I did, and I did just say bastard. Okay, yeah, no, I got the timer right here. We're Christians on a cruise. Um, when is the last time we did a podcast?
We probably did one in October, maybe November, but I think it was October. I've been trying to get you on this thing forever, and I sent Scott podcast question mark nothing, pod question mark nothing, and it's my fault.
There's been a few times. There was two times I was ready to go,
2 times since
but I have a
October, he
feeling you're
said.
going to call.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest, gentlemen, there's been twice since October that he's been ready to go.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, fair play. Now, what have you been up to? Like, tell us how you finished the year. You had a ton of weddings. How'd you finish the year? Did you get something nice for Christmas? It's 2024. You and I can both say that 2024's motto is "Don't play yourselves," because I played myself big time in 2023. You a
Some,
little bit here and there, a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
more than I've known you to do it. So 2024 is the year of don't play yourselves. How did your 2023 end?
2023 ended extremely busy, busier than any year actually, which was really good. Actually, this week is the first time since 2022, I think, that we don't have any edits pending. And today I broke that because today we shot something, so now there's an edit pending. But up until today, it's been about 5 days where we didn't have any edits that we didn't have to do. So it was nice. Like, we're always, I'm sure you can relate to this. We're always like chasing our tails, like constantly. It's one thing after another after another. It's like you finish shooting, now you got to edit, finish shooting, now you got to edit. But for the first time, it's been about a week since I finally had every single thing. And I mean the team. We all finished every single edit, and we were up to date up until today.
Well, that's good. Yeah,
What about you?
I just finished editing a wedding that was the last one that I was kind of behind on, so I'm kind of caught up. But nothing wild to end the year. It has been a minute because I don't even think we've ever got on here and talked about the A9 III intro that we've seen.
That's how long it's
So
been.
just some things. We got some things we're going to dive into. Travel. Something we can tell the folks is that we're going to be at WPPI in Vegas. It looks like, as of a day ago, through an email, you and I will be doing demos at the Tamron booth, which is very interesting. Because like so you and I have been to WPPI and we've gone by Tamron's little booth with the demo area. It's like the size of a phone booth. Like, what are you demoing with a fake backdrop in the size of a phone booth? Like,
This is
it's gonna be interesting.
this is how we don't get invited to the 2025. Already talking smack.
Yeah,
We haven't even seen
but
it yet.
we're not gonna share this with them. But
No.
like like when she said that to do a demo at the booth, unless the booth size could have changed. Like the last time we were there, it was really small for Tamron, but I mean, I'm only thinking like it's like set up some flash because last time they had a model, so I'm imagining they'll have models again, and it's just setting up some lights. I don't know, a little
Yeah.
strange, but if they want to throw some dollars at the boys to go out to Vegas, we'll be there, and it looks like
Yeah.
we're going to be there, so that'll be nice.
I mean,
So if y'all want to come down to Vegas and see the kids, you can do that and get some of these flaming hot tips we got for you because we got tips.
well, we got
Huh?
Eddie Fulrax. He says he's gonna meet us out there.
There's a few people that have said that they're gonna hit us up out there. So that's kind of exciting because you and I have been to this will be our third time I think to WPPI together. So to see each time we go out, like our little following or like our little grouping grow a bit is kind of fun, and to see people coming out and maybe going like it would be great like if we get Eddie Fulrax and whoever else shows up to like get out there and like go out to dinner after the show or something like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, it would be, and I think that if we would have stayed a little more consistent with this podcast, we we would have a little bit more of a following by this year. But you know what? This is 2024. We will no longer be playing ourselves. So 2025 will have a nice big group to join us.
Now, and a lot of you wankers out there, you guys love
Oh.
you love the lot. No, we're still Christians on a cruise. I don't think wankers is going to pull us. We're still Christians on a cruise ship right now. We're good.
That's the name of
I
the
think
podcast.
wankers Christians on a cruise.
I
I like
mean,
it.
we found it.
But I think a lot of people like the Yosemite vibe that we brought when we did the Yosemite Live podcast. It would be fun. God, because remember that one time we were supposed to do a podcast in Vegas and like two sweet boys, we fell asleep by 9 p.m. on the couch.
We fell asleep laying on each other, just like on
Yeah.
that photo that we posted.
And then yeah. So this time we have to get a pod in at Vegas WPPI. Shit, might even do it on the showroom floor.
I mean, we have. Here's the thing, like, because I did a booth once back in like 2012. I also got my stuff stolen while I was there, but that's besides the point. But we have a little bit of time before and after. So I mean, if we wanted to, I'm sure we could. I mean, who are they gonna? They're gonna turn Scott Stockton down? They're gonna tell him to leave? No.
Yo, could you imagine if you and I were at WPPI and we interview people live on the floor for the podcast? That'd be kind of fly.
You're getting carried away. It's too much. I mean, we could certainly try.
Now, listen, there's a lot of you wankers out there that love Taylor Jackson. I want to say this because Christians on a cruise. I get it. We got 2 more minutes.
Okay.
We're cruising for 2 more minutes. A lot of y'all love him. We just gotta let you know that the kids right here were on an email, just like Piers with him the other day, to submit our best photos for Tamron for something special at WPPI. So we know he's got a big following, but the kids are on the uprise. Maybe we'll get him for an interview when we get out there. You never know. But we're out there. We're playing ball.
Yeah,
Cameron wants the kid.
Every 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Every 4 months we come out and play. The knees are a little stiff, you know that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna have to do some stretches. Nah, it's gonna be fun. it's going to be fun. Like we really got to take advantage of stuff like that because like if we want to grow this, like that's a good we might really need to brainstorm some stuff because the last time I went out there for Tamron, they invited me to like a company dinner with them, but I turned it down because I was doing something with Rangefinder with Jacqueline Tobin,
Mhm.
the editor in chief at the time. But now we have no like if we go hobnob with all the cats at Tamron, and then we can just get content and rub elbows and like yeah, we really should be like the ambassadors. Our faces should be on every lens box that gets shipped out. Like, what are you doing?
Or just, you know
You
what?
know what I mean?
It's on a serious note. I think that we sometimes think that this industry is so much bigger than it actually is. Like we think that things are unobtainable. Like when I was coming up, like I didn't think Tamron or Sigma or Magmod or anybody would hit me up. You know what I mean? Like or would even respond to a message that I would send them. And yet, like obviously we've had our photos in all those places. And I think it's just a matter of just knocking on the right door. You know what I mean? Like I think that if you like whatever company you look up to, like if you're listening to this and you're into like the fitness arena, there are so many companies that would love to have a creative person that would contribute to them. And then it becomes a relationship where they give you things, you give them work, like it goes back and forth. And I think that sometimes we don't think that a certain company would pay attention to us because everybody has that imposter syndrome. But you'd be surprised. I mean, be good. That part helps. You know what I mean? Be talented, work, give them some solid work. More than likely, they will respond.
Well, and I'm in the fitness industry. My little shorty's a fitness influencer, so I'm up in that industry, so I'm learning.
Oh yeah,
That
no.
being said,
Hmm.
what I'll tell you another thing we can talk about is this is something you and I have talked about, and we've talked about it at length about how to reach out to the brands that you want to get work from. Um, a prime example this week, I just got this little sling bag behind me, made a video about that. And I was like, damn, I love these bags. Like, I wonder how I can become an ambassador. So it all became to just reaching out to them. Reached out to them through Instagram, didn't get a reply. But sometimes you're not going to get a reply from companies with fucking. We're past 10 minutes, so the Christian cruise is over. Now we're just on our Royal Caribbean cruise. We're on a Carnival cruise now. All
All
right,
right.
so we can curse. But so I then went to their contact page and I submitted like just to contact us, and I gave them all this information, and then they wrote back and said, "Hey, if you here's a link that we give to creators. If you can submit like a proposal for like whatever kind of video idea you want, and we like it, we'll bless you with it." And it just comes to like knocking on the door. Like if you want to work with somebody, there's the old thing, the old saying from the Bible: "You have not because you ask not." A lot of cats is just sitting around waiting around for people to just come find them, just because they think, oh, wait, I got big swinging dicks. I'm on Instagram, nice photos. I'm using hashtags. Just because you're using hashtags and you got nice photos doesn't mean you're about to get shit. Like you actually have to go knock on the door. And you and I both have so many different cases and proof for where we've done that and have gotten partnerships with companies. Obviously, Tamron, obviously, Magmod, you with Tokina, you with Sigma, me screwing around with rangefinder. Like if you don't, people need to stop waiting and get your ass out there and knock on the door, whether it's an Instagram door or a contact door or a real door. Get on, like, start knocking on doors and telling people that you like their stuff, because there's a million people that tag these companies. But sometimes you got to get creative. Sometimes you need to go look at Sony ambassadors or executives that work for Sony and maybe DM them. Like, there's ways to get creative to get noticed.
And not only
Thoughts?
that, and one thing that I posted a video recently on my YouTube channel, and it was, what's more important is being talented or being seen. And it's like just like what you were saying. Like I don't give a fuck how talented you are. If nobody sees you, nobody's gonna care. And it could work the other way also, where you're not that talented, but a ton of people see you. Who do you think is going to be busier? So the point is, if these companies don't have eyes on you, if you don't knock on 3 doors to try to get into one of them to make sure that, like, if there's a company, you send them messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and email, one of them will respond because one of them is going to be a little
Yeah.
bit more on it than the others. Some of them might just be, someone that they hire that they just make posts periodically. They're not really answering on that. But if you knock on enough doors, eventually somebody's going to answer. And that's the thing is, like, you need to, if whatever you want to do, like, just you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And people are going to talk shit. I mean, every once in a while we get stupid YouTube comments, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't pay my bill. I don't give a damn. Like, say whatever you want. We're moving on.
Well, and also be prepared to get a no, and
Hmm.
maybe they'll tell you why it's a no. So, like a good example for this is like, I guess it's not really so much a no. You're a MagMod ambassador. I've always wanted to be one, so I reached out to Trevor for MagMod and was like, hey, I've been on the How I Shot It YouTube videos with you. You feature some of my stuff. I was like, how do I become a MagMod ambassador? And he was just like, be more interactive in like Facebook, on the Facebook page, commenting, just kind of like, it's kind of like its own little communities. Like, just be a part of the community more. Like I was more of the mindset of, here's photos, repost them, but I wasn't contributing so much in the community. And
Yeah.
so sometimes you might not get a yes immediately, but they can give you some constructive criticism and you can make some changes and then become a part of it.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, sometimes it doesn't even. I think you don't have to focus so hard on, like, I want to be featured by them, or I want. Sometimes you just keep giving them, keep posting, keep doing whatever. Because, like I said, I've always said this with Magban from the beginning. Like, I didn't hit them up to get anything. I just hit them up. I just kept sending them work in the beginning, expecting nothing. And a lot of these companies, like, I sent them work. Tokina, when I originally got a few lenses from them, the first thing that I did is I sent them a video and I said, hey, this is a lens that I've been using for a very long time. It's really, really good. I love it. So I made a video. Here's the video if you guys want to use it for any of your, for any purpose, whatever. You can chop it up, use whatever you want. I get an email response saying, hey, thank you for the video. And we actually are coming out with a new version of it. Would you like to come by and pick it up? And I'm like, yeah, like, that wasn't my intention, but it's like, be of the mind of what can I do for you instead of what can I get from you. And that will take you a lot further than anything else. Because when I met with him, he goes, we knew you weren't hitting us up, trying to get something from us. And because of that, we wanted to give you this line. I'm like, dude, like, thank you. And then they gave me a 50 also. That was nice.
Yeah. Also, don't reach out to places if you don't have anything to show. Like,
Anything to offer, any value. That's what
yeah.
it comes down to, is what can I give you of
Well,
value that you can use.
like with Wandered, when I reached out to them, I at least had like a YouTube link to my review of this bag. Like, it's hard to reach out to a company and say, hey, I want to be an ambassador or collaborator with you, and then you own nothing of their shit. They're gonna be like, oh,
Right.
here's some little grub that just wants free shit to do stuff. um, yeah, it's interesting, and like you said, like wanting to offer something to people. Like, there's a few cases, because we work with a sweet lady named Stacy with Tamron, and there's been like sometimes where like she'll reach out to me with like a photo, and she's like, hey, we want to use this image on yada yada yada. She's like, can we do that? And I'll pay you 100, and I'll just tell her, don't even worry about the 100, just use it.
Yeah.
And because she takes care of us, so like in little dotty moments like that, like, you ain't got to pay me $100 to use one image, just whatever, just go use it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it's like the whole, I mean, God, it's as old as time, but the whole "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" thing is so true. Yeah, like, if somebody does something nice for you and you do something nice for them, it's a solid relationship, and it's a good thing to like go into like a partnership, or like you want to be a partner with some kind of brand, but not to expect like you're about to just get a shit ton of free shit and you're not doing anything for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Provide
I think.
value, right?
What's that?
It's like people want stuff without providing value. Like, you got to be able to provide value to these companies.
Yeah, because they're not used to that. When you give them something and you're not expecting anything back, they're used to people always hitting them up to get free shit. dude, we do this for a living. If we want to buy something, we'll go buy it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not. I don't need it, but if you want to send it our way, I promise you, we'll send you something of value. And clearly, we're doing that because at WPPI, we actually some of our images are going to be. I think they said some of the ones that they mentioned were going to be on like the display in the back. And then
Yeah.
I'm actually speaking with someone else on Monday. I think some of the maternity photos are going to be in the magazine, the next one. So that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, these cocksuckers, they like I got an email saying because I'm waiting to hear back about which images of mine they're going to use, and
I
I still
mean,
haven't heard back yet. But
no,
he's, but well, also which booth, like which times and days you and I are going to be at the different booths. I probably shouldn't have said cocksuckers.
this is a thing that I think it's funny. They haven't told me anything about that. They've talked to you, and I noticed my name was mentioned. So I love that they
Yeah.
talk to you, and they just assume that message is making it my way.
Well, no, because I used your name.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm cool with it.
Also,
I'm just saying.
people get friends that use your name. Don't like. There's a lot of greedy cocksuckers out there that aren't going to use your name. Anytime, like when I wrote them, I was like, "Yo, Shorty, you said something about me and the kid coming through and getting some booth time. What's Gucci with that?" And she wrote back, and I sent you the screenshot. She was like, "Oh, I haven't forgot. Damien's going to be reaching out to y'all shortly." All right.
All
About
right.
compensation and boot time. I was like, all
And
right.
he did.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he wrote back. He actually wrote me back, and he's like, I'll be getting in touch with y'all shortly on that. So within a few days, we'll know what we're doing, and the boys will be out there cooking like we always do. It's like a
Oh,
yearly thing. We're in Vegas. Like we've been in Vegas a lot together.
here's a Vegas story to kind of segue into a slightly different. Well, actually, it goes backwards because we talked about not playing ourselves. We played ourselves
Yeah.
one more time before the year ended, and it has to do with
What?
Vegas. Yes.
Wait. What?
So we were gonna go shoot at the sand dunes, which we've shot at countless times. It's the Dumont
No,
Dunes,
you
which
played yourself on this.
yes, the story time. Gather around, everybody. So we were gonna go to the sand dunes, which is on the way to Vegas, which is about 3 hours away, maybe 3.5 at most if you run into a little bit of traffic, right? So no problem. It was gonna be like the weekend after Thanksgiving. So at Thanksgiving dinner, I pull up my maps and I go, let me see, let me make sure I have the right amount of time. We're leaving at the right time. And when I looked at this fucking thing, it said it was 6.5 hours to get there. So we went from 3.5 hours, which we can do in one day, go there, come back. You know what I mean? 3.5 hours, shoot for a couple of hours, come back. To 6.5 hours each way. So if we account for that, it'd be 6.5 one way, shooting for 2 hours, 6.5 the way back. There's no way we were going to do it in one day. What ended up happening, we found out, is that the only road that led to the sand dunes from the certain direction coming from California was closed. So we had to go all the way around to Vegas and then all the way around to the sand dunes and then come back to Vegas to come back home. And I mean, yes, we did play ourselves, but in the end, what ended up happening is Angelique left um her mom and stepdad at the casinos. We went to go shoot, and then we came back and stayed overnight, and then came back the next day to go shoot another wedding. So there was two weddings, one before and one after that shoot. So it was kind of a stressful weekend. Definitely played ourselves. Um, I mean, I was gonna say for future reference, like check if the roads are closed, but how the fuck would we know that one road would be closed at that time? Because the following week, that shit was open. Anything? Just staring at a screen now.
But I'm trying to do a sound. Damn it, my soundboard's not working.
It
Damn
could be
it.
it could be the lack of practice of being on the podcast, perhaps.
Yeah, it's been a minute. That really bums me out. I had a perfect sound for that. Yeah, definitely played myself a lot in 2023. Not going to be happening in 2024.
You know what? Here's a good thing.
Um,
That would be one of the top ones for us. What would be one of the top Scott Stockton played himself stories?
there's so many from 2023. Like it's
There's a lot.
there's truly so many from 2023. Like it's incredible. I mean, can it even be that there's so many that I can't even pick one? I mean, we've talked about a gazillion of them on the phone, and I can't even think of one right now.
Um,
Obviously, my swapping of systems, I played myself with that, jumping around from Nikon, Sony, Canon, Sony, like played myself losing out on money with that. Yeah.
mhm.
But like, what else can I don't think I got anything else I could talk about. Like, damn, what else could I play I mean, I would tell you what I'm not going to play myself on and going forward is these people in life. I call them, we're going to call them vampires. You know what I'm saying? When like there's a few people in the industry in Charlotte where you can message them and text them and call them, and if you don't get replies and they ignore you, and then all of a sudden when it's convenient for them or they want something from you, they'll call you or text you. These people can get fucked. I'm not playing around with that anymore. I'm not definitely not going to play myself with that anymore. Also, a little blast from the past. Our boy Boogie, old Leonard from the past, might be heading with me to Mexico.
Oh wow.
So that's gonna be kind of fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
we
little
spoke this
content
morning
there.
about that. Yeah.
He's in Charlotte right now. I guess everybody knows he doesn't have that much money. Apparently, he hitchhiked up here from Orlando, so it's a beautiful thing that he made it. We love you,
Well,
Leonard. But yeah, what's
s-
that?
I was gonna say, speaking of playing yourself, we got one. What was your recent flight experience? Because you said, or flight at least booking experience.
What do you mean?
Because you said you were trying to save money by getting a Spirit and sitting on the wing, but then you looked at all the costs associated with flying Spirit.
Yo, Spirit is so dirty with how they're doing costs. Like, so you can go, like, you can go out there and you can say, I want to get a round trip, Charlotte to LAX, and you're looking at the price, and it's like, oh, $87. Like that ain't shit. Yeah, round trip, $87. Like that's cheaper than an Uber. And so I did that.
It's
Then
wild.
you get to the next screen, things are looking good. It's like, hey, give us your billing address and yada yada. You'd be like, wow, I'm just maneuvering through these screens. I'm clicking next, next, and next, and the total is still saying $87. I'm like, shit is sweet. Then we get to the carry-on bag page. Why the fuck does adding a carry-on bag cost more than the actual flight? See, this is how they playing you with the bags. So then I add the bag. I had a carry-on bag, just a carry-on bag. We go from 87 round trip to 200. Then we get to the add the bag, a bag. That's what I'm saying. I'm not even bringing clothes to your house when I come there to shoot with you. I'm just gonna have to buy clothes because to add a bag was about to be crazy. I'll buy clothes there and mail them back. It was like yeah, I'm serious. I'm going to buy clothes there and I'm going to mail them back. To add a bag was like an additional 150. Whereas I could just mail that shit for $20.
Yeah, they play you. I mean, I think you need to stop. We keep telling you to stop booking with those dummies, and you keep doing it.
I think it's still cheaper than the competition.
I don't think so. When you add everything
You
up,
cannot get an American flight from here to there for $200.
not for 200, no, but you can't get one with Spirit either because you got to check in a bag.
Yeah, dude. Well,
How much was?
I got one with me and a carry-on.
How much?
Me and a carry-on round trip was 187.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. How do they make
So I'll
money?
just buy clothes. I'll just buy an outfit there, and now my carry-on's got an extended pack to where I can put like two outfits in it. So I'll pack my suit in it. I'm gonna pack underwear and socks and the suit for the wedding that we're shooting, and then everything else that I'm gonna wear out there, I'll just buy there and mail it back. We Gucci.
Damn, I had something to say. Oh, that actually brings up a good point. Have you ever checked in your photo equipment when you're traveling?
Oh hell no, that's got to ride with me.
Oh, I done it. I had to.
Really? Your
This
cameras?
one time, dude, like no matter how much I would argue with this motherfucker, they wouldn't let it go. I'm like, there's $25,000 worth of equipment in that case. I'm like, if you can guarantee that it'll get there and I can have your name and everything, and if shit goes, off the rails and we can talk about it, we'll check it in. 9 times out of 10, that shit works. When I tell him that, this time he goes, no, we got to check it in. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let's write this down, Julio. Just put it in there. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. And luckily when I got there, everything was fine. But yeah, that was one time I had to check in my Pelican case, and they checked it in. That thing was freezing when I pulled it out.
Oh, from the belly of the airplane.
Oh, they chucked that motherfucker right under the
Yeah.
plane. Like I checked it in at the gate and they threw it under. I'm like, all right, like it is what it's in God's hands now.
Speaking of God's hands, we're leaving a lot of stuff in God's hands with this whole John Chris situation. Now, for people that don't know, Elmer's got a
Jesus.
beautiful soul that's on his team that's getting married this year. God bless. What a beautiful thing. And they're doing it in Bali, which is amazing. And they've hired Elmer, which is amazing. I've inserted myself into the equation through DMs between me, Elmer, and John, trying to
Well,
persuade him that you need
let's
another
be honest.
shooter there.
Mostly a conversation between me and you. He doesn't really pipe in too much to our nonsense.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, who is this guy? Like, you're not going to join in on the shenanigans? Like, come on.
John Chris, if you're
So you know
watching,
what? Let's get something trending. Let's get something trending. Hashtag John Chris get Scott to Bali. If we can get that trending, I think he'll pull the trigger on the ticket. Honestly, if he doesn't, which he should, he'd be.
playing himself.
We're not on a Christian cruise, but I got to make sure nobody's listening. He'd be a motherfucking fool not to have two A1 shooters for the price of $2,000. But you know what? If he doesn't, I might just have to slap 1G on it and just be out there in Bali anyway.
The Spirit doesn't go to Bali though, right?
They don't. So what I'd have to do is take a Spirit flight to LAX and then a G from there with you to Bali. But you and
Well,
me
and
on a
now
flight to Bali and making content? How stupid would that be?
that's what I was gonna say. That would be the ideal situation, is going here and then we fly out there together, because obviously, we'll just be messing around the entire time.
Yeah, but you know what's going to suck about that? You're going to be up there in first class or business class. I'm going to be down. I'm going to be under the belly with the luggage. Like we're going to have to be texting each other for like 20 hours.
Nah, dude, just
you
get
get
get up there with us.
no. Cause see, this is the thing. Elmer ain't finna be back in coach with the kid. Your boy gonna be back there with all that riffraff, back there with people smelling like Jack Daniels, like the kid likes it. I might, a flight that long, I might have to take a sip of some Jack.
Dude, that shit is
That's
like
a long
21 hours
flight, isn't
long.
it? Like
I think I
what's
think it's
that?
21 hours. Let me search.
From LA to Bali is 21 hours?
I think so, dude. Let me see.
Dog, that's like a full fucking day on an airplane.
Yeah, let me see. How long is the flight from LAX to Bali? 21 hours. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. Jesus Christ.
Yo, that makes me rethink the whole thing.
You didn't know it was that far?
I not from LA, like I figured it would be like 14.
No,
They got
21
enough
hours.
gas on an airplane for 21 hours?
I never thought about that. That's something that didn't cross my mind.
Dude, because like there's parts of that ocean where it's just nothing but just empty void. Like if shit goes wrong on that airplane, like there's no place to
We're done.
stop.
We're done. Yeah.
We landed at sea.
And
Damn. 21
then
hours.
there's sharks out there.
Well, when you sent me like your time frame out there, like this was like 6, 7 days. Two of the motherfuckers are on airplanes.
Yeah.
Damn, John Chris. You want motherfuckers? John Chris want motherfuckers to lose days of their lives? Come on, cuz. Pay that 1,000. Let the kid see Bali.
Get the kid to Bali.
Hashtag John Chris get Scott to Bali.
All
Well,
right.
we got that coming up.
Next topic. What
We
else we
got the
got?
options.
We wrote down notes like professionals. So let's see. Scotty Boy and his bags. Stories about older people not using Zelle or Venmo. We could talk about a little business. The stuff that we deal with.
Yeah,
Let
we
me
do
see.
that.
We played ourselves the sand dunes. We already did that. Oh, here's one. Divorces of couples after the wedding, photoshopping people out. Did I tell you about this?
Hit us.
Or did I just okay, so there was a wedding that we shot last year. I think it was last year. And it wasn't the couple that got divorced. It was a family photo. And obviously the couple's in the middle. There's parents and then there's siblings at the end. And then the spouse was in this end, the one that we're about to discuss. And the groom, very nice gentleman, he sends me a message because we're doing the album. And he goes, hey, unfortunately, really bad news. He is no longer in the family. They got a divorce shortly after the wedding. And like he even told me like extra stories, like he moved back to another country, all that. Like, oh, okay. Well, he was asking me if I could just crop it in, but being the little overachiever that I am, not even that. I decided to bring it into Photoshop beta. And if you guys, I'm sure you played with it at this point. Basically, what I did is I grabbed the person who's no longer with us, and I just hit enter, and it completely deleted him. Like added a little bit of extra dress on, his sister, and obviously added all the background. But yeah, it was easy as that, just to remove an entire person. And I mean, he was thrilled, really, really happy. But I feel like with the new Photoshop capabilities, this is something that's so much easier. And I feel like it's gonna make people happy. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like somebody's not in the family anymore. You don't want them in your album, and especially if they did your sister dirty or whatever the case may be. Like you don't want them there. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I've been thinking about a fun thing to do for Reels is how the generative fill actually fucks up. Like there's been a few times where like I'll circle something for generative fill and tell it to remove something that seems so easy, and it
Mm-hmm.
does the dumbest thing. Like I was trying to do a thumbnail for a video the other day and I drew like a rectangle and I was like, put a black rectangle here. And it put like a waiter's server's hand holding like a black menu. And I was like, what the fuck? I did I had a fitness influencer that I shot the other day and I put uh she looked really strained on her face. So I circled her mouth and I was like, make the smile more relaxed. It came back with like a smile with like hot pink lipstick and like a Joker kind of smile. I was like, what? Like there, maybe that's something we got to jump on to like get like trending because I haven't seen many people doing a lot of the fails with the generative fill. But like, I mean,
I think
I'm shitting on it
yeah,
right now, but for the most part, it does a really good job.
we're so spoiled. That's what I was gonna say. We're so spoiled that when it doesn't do it right, we go, "How could you not do it right?" It's fucking doing magic, grabbing pixels out of thin air and going,
Yeah.
"This is what should be there." Guessing what you think should be there, and the fact that it gets it right 9 times out of 10, but that one time that it doesn't, you go, "This son of a bitch." You know what I mean? Like that's how spoiled we are as photographers.
Well, see, the funny thing for me is like it's got like a 90%. For me, it's had like about a 95% hit rate. But when it misses bad. That's what's
It's
fun.
completely off. Even
Yeah.
then, it because even bringing it into Photoshop takes a little bit more time, but it does give you that like the confidence that I know if they're in the background, it's fine. I'll be able to remove them. I'd rather keep the day moving forward than to wait until somebody steps out of the back if they're setting up something back there. Um. So yeah, I mean, it does make our lives a hell of a lot easier. And I got something else actually.
Yeah.
If you got anything else with generative, if not, I got something else to make our lives easier, or that makes our lives easier.
Hit us.
5 starring when you're shooting. Do you do it, Scott?
Hmm. So you've been beating me over the head with that for a while, so I'm just now coming around to doing it. because there's nothing like the worst thing after shooting a wedding is sitting down and having to be like, fuck. Now I quickly have to crank out some sneak peeks because I told him I was going to do it. It's late at night. You just get in, and it's like there's thousands of photos. How am I going to just pick some out? And I just kept hearing you in the back of my head saying, "Star them when you shoot them." And so I need to come around to it. Tell these sweet people what it's about.
Okay, so when we're shooting, what we like to do is because when you're shooting, you know what your highlights are. Like when you shoot a photo and you captured an emotion, or the creative shot that you wanted was exactly how you wanted. It came out perfect. What I always do is I'll just go into rating on the A9, and I'll just 5-star, and I'll create that'll put a 5-star only in one camera or memory card slot. So make sure it's the right one that you transfer over. And the reason I say this is sometimes we'll exchange cards at the end of the night with the second shooter. And one time, one of them, he 5-starred like 80 photos. But when he gave me the card, he gave me the other card. So when I got home, it wasn't 5-starred anymore. It didn't show it in Lightroom. So I'm like, damn, like now we got to remember, make sure you use the correct one. But in any case, when you bring it into Lightroom, it's going to show you all the 5 stars that you selected in your camera. So as you're shooting, if you have a little bit of downtime when you're on the dance floor, or anytime if you're going from one location to the other, somebody else is driving, do some 5-star. And that way, when you get
Yeah.
home, you go, okay, I shot a wedding and there's 70 photos already that I can edit, or 60 or 50, whatever you want to deliver, that I can deliver as sneak peeks. What I usually do is I transfer it all in, and then I apply the standard preset to those 70 or those, whatever I'm going to do. I'm not a big fan of the AI editing software. I know, Scott, you're very big on that. But for me, I feel like even when I bring it in there, I still need to go through them and like micro adjust them. So I go, then what the hell is the point? I'd rather just put my standard preset that I know is going to hit 95% of the photos are going to be correct. And then just do the little micro adjustments from there. But yeah, I mean, like we were talking just now, we shot a ceremony session this afternoon with a little reception. And then when I got home, those 5 stars were already there. So it took me like 15 minutes to do those sneak peeks.
Damn, cuh.
And I keep telling you, stop playing yourself. But here we are in 2024.
Nah, I haven't shot a wedding yet in 2024. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna do it the right way, and I'm gonna star them. I got one wedding, 2 weddings this month, and then next month we got fun times. Got a wedding with you in California. Then got Mexico. Then I got Disney. So February, man, this year is kicking off quick. January's been kind of my like lay low month to kind of recuperate. February, I just get shot out of a cannon. I'm excited about all this. Like, it'll be fun. So like we got to do a live podcast or something fun in California. I would come out there to do the sand dunes with John Chris, but he tripping. So I don't even know if I should bless him with that.
I mean, if you want to come, dude, I'll send you the $50 to get on Spirit to get over here.
I might. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be in
might.
2 weeks. Yeah, or no, not in 2 weeks. That shit is next week.
Less than that. Yeah, that's literally in a week, right? Didn't you say the
Yeah,
19th?
today's the 12th. Yeah, so in a week, the 19th, we're gonna go shoot at the sand dunes.
But he tripping.
That should be fun.
This guy.
What all right, let's do one more topic. We don't want to just drag on for hours. We're gonna give them a quick
Why
one so
don't we
we can
do
come
a
back.
gear topic? Like, why don't we talk about some new gear? Like, you and I have both been salivating at the mouth for that new Sony A9 Mark III. They just bumped the release date up 2 days, so it's like February, I think, like 21st. Or no, is it February? I think it was February.
Yeah, I haven't looked on that. I'm not in a particular rush
Well,
to get it.
yeah. I was going to say well-oiled machine and well-researched machine as we are. It's but they bumped it up. Typically, they're bumping it back, but like the specs on that damn thing, the being able to use flash at like insane shutter speeds. Um, Obviously, you're never going to have any banding or anything like that. Global sensor, new and improved autofocus to an autofocus that was already insane. It's the problem is what is it? What was it? $6,000?
Yeah, yeah.
Which,
So we
as
were
you like
we
to
were
always say, these things make us money. So $6,000 is like not really that much in the grand scheme of things. But
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you do photography full time, if you do wedding photography full time, and you're shooting almost, let's say, even like every weekend or maybe every other weekend, you're shooting weddings, i- it's gonna pay for itself very quickly, a few times over. And for something that makes your life that much easier, and you know me, I don't like to overspend on gear. I'm not a gearhead. I don't buy everything that that comes out. But this is something that I also look at that I'm gonna use for the next 3 or 4 years. For $6,000 for something that I'm gonna use for the next 3 or 4 years, that's a good deal.
yeah, it's. I mean, I mean, it's got everything, man. Like like the A1 is the flagship that they say is like the end all be all for like all photo and video and all that. But and this is actually cheaper than what the A1 was when it first came out by $500. It's
And this
just like
this has things that the A1, as far as I know, didn't, like the global shutter. That's specific to this camera. And like just that alone, being able to shoot at whatever shutter speed without high speed
yeah.
sync, because high speed sync kills your flash. The intensity is
Mhm.
lower, the recycling time is slower. So all these things is basically now we can call high speed sync old technology when this comes out. Like to me, that is a game changer. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big gearhead. So for me to get excited, like it is something else.
And there were some really cool, like, man, the promotional footage was so cool because you could take so many frames per second. Like they had like a ballerina that like ran across the stage and did like pirouettes and all these flips and stuff. And they took different frames so like you could see the evolution of when she started to come, did her move, and kept going through. And you could end with just this one picture of just like the little cut frames of the evolution of her move. It was just like the most frames per second that you can get, blackout free in your EVF if that's how you're shooting. Which honestly, that's how I shoot most of the time is in the EVF. So to be able to shoot that many frames per second blackout free is nice. And they had like the internal memory and the buffer was so robust to like you don't get to the point like with my A7 IV, like if I hold the shutter down for some action move, like I can only hold it down before it stops for like 3 seconds, which
Yeah, I
isn't
mean,
terrible for weddings. But like if I wanted to capture some dramatic movement, it's not going to do it.
for
You're
me
probably closer with
personally,
your A9.
I would prefer not to have such a fast burst because I think that
What?
sometimes, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I think I get a little carried away. Ask our post producers, and I wish I don't need 10 frames a second. If you can just give me 3 frames a second, that's all I need. Just make sure I get a few to make sure that I got it, but I don't need 10. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it annoys me that it's shooting
Yeah.
that quick.
Yeah, the A7 IV only gives me like 6 frames per second, which
Which is
is for me not
more than enough.
enough.
I
No,
do like
it's
one thing
not.
that I'm gonna say about the new A9 is that they stuck to 24 megapixels, right? I don't think they raised them,
Yeah.
which
No,
I
it's 24.
fucking got up and clapped. Thank you. Nobody needs more megapixels than that. Dude, here's a story. I printed a photo, I remember, for my one of my finals in college, and it was with a digital SLR. It was a D700, which I think it was 12 megapixels, and I printed a 5 foot print. And dude, that thing was completely clean. So you're gonna tell me that we need all these megapixels for large, but like you don't need them. There comes a certain point where it's overkill. And now with AI, if you can bring in a photo that you downloaded from the web and run it through Lightroom in the AI to enhance, basically you can make a poster out of that. So why the hell do
Yeah.
we need all these megapixels to take up more memory, to slow down your computer, to slow down your workflow? I would rather have 24 megapixels with better dynamic range, which that's the one thing. I don't know if they mentioned too much about that, did they?
Dynamic range? No, I
Yeah.
didn't pay much attention to that.
Because to me,
I
that
mean, I'm
is more,
assuming it's got to be better at that price point.
it has to be. I mean, especially with mine, I'm on the original A9. So at this point, that thing is 7 years old, right? 2017.
Yeah, yeah, that thing old.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything is going
That
to be
thing
better,
old.
but we still putting out fire with that thing.
You damn right. And that A7 III, that thing's still cooking. What an
Yeah.
amazing camera.
You posted a video about that. If somebody's looking for a $1,000 full frame camera, I mean, if you're willing to get a used one, I can't see a better
Dude.
one.
And at Christmas you can get the damn thing brand new for $1,400.
That's pretty wild.
That's what it was. They had that thing $500 off at Christmas.
Let me say something. This is what I always say is that a good camera was a good camera then. It's still a good camera now. The fact that there are better cameras now, yeah, that's great. But that's like, I always love watching Apple make an announcement and talk so much shit about the previous generation when just 8 months ago that was the top of the line, amazing, nothing will be better than this. And then 8 months later they're talking shit about it, going, this is way better, blah blah blah. And then 8 months later, 10 months later, they're going to do it again. So that's why with cameras, like, if you know how to get the most out of them, you can do it with just about any camera. So you don't have to get the latest and greatest. I feel like with the new A9 for us, it's because it makes our lives easier. It makes our jobs easier. But do we need it? No. And that's why I'm not over here pre-ordering it, to get it when it comes out. No, I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll shoot a few more weddings, make a little more money, and then I'll go and get it.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like if you had a good lighting situation with the A7 III and the A9 Mark III, they're both 24 megapixel cameras. The image quality out of both those photos are probably going to be about the same.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually, I like what we just talked about. I'm shooting this with the Sony, what is it, ZV-E10 or something like that. I don't, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and it's a APS-C. It's a crop sensor camera. I want to do a shoot with this one and the A9 with good lighting, and like just to compare. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it being a significant, drastic difference.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. The same. Yeah. That'd be a fun test. Or like it'd be a fun test to like even just go do like a photo shoot because you had the A7 III. If you took the A7 III and the A9 Mark III in just good lighting situations and took photos side by side, I bet you couldn't even tell a damn difference.
Icon. I went and shot with A7 IV. Like, nobody can tell the difference. So get out there and shoot with
Yeah.
whatever you have and make some fire with whatever you got.
And we'll wrap a bow on this. So a long time ago, we had a viral clip. Viral clip. Got about 200 views. About somebody proposing with a cow. Well, that
All right, guys.
happened.
Thank you so much for joining us on the
Huh?
Flashing People podcast. We promise that we will be more consistent this year. This is a year of not playing ourselves. And in light of that, I'm not going to let Scott finish what he was about to say. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will post another one in the next week or so. I'm going to say it to the people.
I think so. And if you guys want to go to WPPI or ever wanted to, hopefully it's an incentive because the boys will be there. And you know what? Maybe we'll get a little something going on Instagram. If you come out there, we can all get up for like dinner or something. We'll find a place. We can maybe we can organize a little meetup like that. We say, hey, we're Eddie Fullracks, me, Eddie Fullracks, Elmer. We're doing dinner at this spot. If you're a Flashing People podcast fan, meet us up.
I'm with it.
That'd be fun. What are you getting into later now?
So my friend texted me something while I was at the gym. Those little CBD things, or THC.
Yeah.
One of those things.
You gotta get fucked up, ain't it?
No, listen. Alcohol is the worst.
You ain't coming down from that. You about to be up in the clouds, Daddy.
alcohol is the worst drug I think there is. Like,
It
you
is.
do some
It is
stupid
worse.
shit. And like, I'll have a beer here and there, but I'm like, I don't really feel like drinking. Let me try this out. So I'm gonna see what this is like. Um, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, it's 11:30 over here. I'm probably gonna go lay down and text little shorty for the rest of the night till I fall asleep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. See you later.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye.